Welcome to the MadTrio podcast. This week we have the California Pariah, Jonathan Charney, James, the Fat Man Stevens.
Hello.
Rob, the old guy.
The old guy's here, yeah.
Ryan Preston apparently couldn't make it again. And hello, those who are listening to us via Facebook.
Yeah, good luck with that. Doggone Facebook. You know, all three of us have been sitting here going, you know, so much of the world seems to revolve around that one company, and worries me even more than normal. Yeah.
They know, Facebook and Google know more about you than your mom did.
I wonder how many people understood the fact that it wasn't only Facebook that went down. It was their other...
Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and any website that used their login credentials.
Yep. Yeah. So, boy, did it bother a lot of people. I was millions and millions.
Didn't bother me much. Not at all. I didn't really actually give a shit. It was actually, I kind of think the world needed a break.
Well, there you go. Maybe it should have been a longer outage.
I actually use Facebook quite a bit on show days, so I was kind of like, fuck.
Well, you know, the thing is that as we mentioned, there's a lot of people that have stores online. There's a lot of people that use their login credentials. There's a lot of people that do a number of things involved, just not with Facebook itself, but with other things. And then, you know, when their services go down as bad as it did, I mean, we're talking major outage for 6 to 8 hours.
So let's hope the next one is Google and Facebook at the same time and just watch the world melt.
But that probably would happen.
I'd be okay with that.
All of a sudden it'd be like, back in the good old days during your childhood. No. This just in, Facebook and Google down.
Yeah. So that is definitely
the world is ending.
Possibility. I know a person that said, "I'm all right with that. Maybe it'll be a molten piece of metal and plastic when this is all over with." And that could have been a possibility.
So did they say what actually caused?
Oh God, no. Are you kidding me? They're not going to come out and tell us what happened. Somebody probably unplugged a server.
You know what the most amazing thing about the whole thing is the fact that they can go down. That was a major fuck up. If a website is big and have as many colo and backup and everything they have, that somebody could do something that physically caused the service to stop is amazing.
You bring up a really good point. So they're not saying what the failure is, and I don't expect to really hear about it for any time soon, because one, they're going to keep it proprietary to within themselves. But you bring up a really good point, because it was not just here locally, it was not just the United States, it was around the world. And that's a little scary when you really think about it. If a company like Facebook can go down for as long as they did, that has servers all over the world, that has, being Italian here, I'm talking with my hands, not like you guys can see it, but it makes you really wonder. I mean, you go,
but you were a Jewish Italian?
Well, I guess must be something new. But you know what I'm saying.
Last night?
Yeah, no pasta, meatballs. No. That was a matzo ball.
Rocky Mountain Italians?
No, not any of that either. So, but anyway, my point being is a global company like Facebook that's got servers all over the world, and a situation dies like this, it can be worrisome. It can tell you what can really happen. And we're so dependent on everything internet related.
Realistically, it was probably a glitch, and I bet they were switching something, or was a backup or something that was in one of their main whatever that probably caused the issue. It could have been China, but part of me is really hoping Mark Zuckerberg was just really fucking drunk or really stoned or on some sort of substance and going, fucking wash this.
Yeah. Maybe their tech support guys need a raise or something. Maybe this was to say, see, I warned you. I'm on tech support. When it went down, you should have called me. Oh, that's right. You couldn't.
Or they could be fired.
But they probably don't know right now. I bet they're doing the mad scramble.
I'm sure they are.
So this is
rebooting. They're probably just unplugging stuff and rebooting them all this. Everybody over the servers, just unplug them now. Plug them back in.
It's like all the movies from the 90s when the guys, the young hip teen is trying to teach their grandma something on the technology.
Yeah.
Mom, grandma, just unplug it. No, unplug it. So this 20 years in the making.
20 years.
The singer best known for I Can Believe I Can Fly is about to fly his ass into jail. R. Kelly found guilty on all counts in sex trafficking trial. And just like everybody who was surprised at the creepy movie Mogul, nobody was surprised that R. Kelly got in trouble for touching things he should not have touched.
He was surprised, I understand. He went, what? They called me guilty? Apparently he couldn't believe what he was hearing. That's the story that's coming out, that he was just, no, couldn't be.
You mean I can't marry a young girl who's under 18? Let's see. R. Kelly, who has been in custody for much of the time since he was formally charged in 2019, was convicted on 1 count of racketeering, 8 counts of violating the Mann Act, that's M-A-N-N Act, the law that bars transporting people across state line for any, quote, immoral purpose. By the way, I'm kind of fascinated by the word immoral in modern law. Today's guilty verdict forever bans R. Kelly as a predator who used his fame and fortune to prey on the young, the vulnerable, and the voiceless for his own sexual gratification. Acting U.S. Attorney Jacqueline, I'm sorry, there's no chance in hell I'm pronouncing your last name.
Yeah, don't even name their names. Just a U.S. attorney. Move on.
So 54 faces decades in prison when he is sentenced May 4th. So this is the question. How long is he going to get the... Basically, I'm wondering, since the Bill Cosby basically got off in a technicality, is this going to be one that he's fucked?
Well, Bill came out and said it was a sham.
Well, the thing about it is that, Kelly's facing child pornography charges. As far as I know, Bill Cosby never had any child pornography charges. So
that's true.
I don't see R. Kelly getting any Bill Cosby treatment here. I see him being really getting locked up over this one.
So if you pardon the pun, he's not getting off on this.
I was staying away from that one, John. You can have it.
So Robert Sylvester Kelly, who's his real name. So we'll see. There's been jokes like 20 plus years since this guy, remember getting famous, maybe back in the mid 90s, where people were starting, oh no, what was it? It was during one of the roasts. It was, one of the roasts in the 90s. The Roastmaster General said that, the reason R. Kelly wasn't there is because he was getting arrested. So this has apparently been known for a while. I'm just happy.
Wow.
I'm happy the creepy kid toucher is finally getting his day in court and got thrown in jail.
Yeah.
And another man who's probably violated a bunch of laws and is probably now free of all the statute limitations. David Lee Roth of Van Halen announces retirement.
Boy, did you see a recent picture of him talking about? Look, I'd retire too if I looked that bad. Oh man, I mean, that guy looks road hard.
You know what the most amazing thing?
What?
Keith Richards looks better.
now
Keith Richards
that's saying something.
And Keith Richards is pushing 80, I think, at this point.
I don't think I'm going to sit there and compare the good looks of old men, John.
I'm just comparing which one looks closer to the Crypt Keeper. And what was it? I think David Lee Roth is in his 60s, but he's I
thought he was in his mid 70s.
Is he?
I may be wrong.
But he's
Don't count on my memory. I'm old.
He's been like on Joe Rogan's podcast a couple of times, and listening to the dude is fascinating. I don't know how anybody holds a conversation with him, but he's a very interesting guy to actually listen to. I wouldn't want to be in the same band as him. Probably why he got kicked out.
Maybe. There probably was a reason. Not the nicest person in the world is my understanding, but who is?
Well, part of the rumor of him not being nice is like him trashing behind the stage stuff. Wow. Echo.
Boy, Facebook is still having a problem.
But one of the reasons why apparently he would thrash stuff in the middle of the rider for all the setup of all their equipment was right in the middle was all the brown M&Ms had to be removed. And the first thing they would do is wouldn't go to the stage. They would go to the back room. And if he noticed that they even tried, to say, okay, they actually read the writer. It's at the time their equipment was so heavy, if it wasn't done correctly, there would have been chance it would have killed people. So that's what he did. He said, if I did see it, I'd go thrash it. I'd break shit, make people clean stuff up. Then we'd go back out and say, this is going to be fixed.
Let's try it again.
And so that was the reason he did it, was to teach them a lesson. It's like, you can't screw around the wrong way with this equipment.
Abusive dads say the same thing after they beat their children. I hope you learned a lesson. So, John, it's not okay. All right?
It's not okay. You can't
Stop
do it.
making it okay to abuse things.
Well, you would have thought his road manager would have taken care of this stuff, but that's okay. It's getting a little too technical to worry about that part. I don't know. So, hey, to boldly go. Star Trek's Shatner spacebound with Blue Origin.
And space diapers.
Maybe. He doesn't talk about that, but it could be. So
He's actually going to space.
Yeah, Blue Origin on Monday confirmed that William Shatner, who stars as James T. Kirk in the original Star Trek series, will fly to space October 12th aboard the company's crewed rocket, becoming the oldest ever astronaut.
And the man who's known for being a dick is going up in a schwanz.
It doesn't say that Bezos going with him this time.
Nice. That's awesome.
So, John.
Yes.
Did you hear your favorite thing ever is over 100 million at the box office?
What's my favorite?
It's not even released in American theaters.
Which one? Dune?
You've been ranting and raving about for like 10 years.
I know. I can watch it on HBO on the 22nd.
The remake of Dune. Yeah, the 22nd, not the 27th.
Wouldn't this be a reboot?
A reboot of a reboot.
Yeah.
I don't know if it could be a straight reboot. The only thing I'm curious about that is how good it is. I do know that the guy who made it tried to do a back-to-back sequel, and the studio said no, which
isn't going to happen.
Because let's be honest, Dune has never made anybody money on a movie level. And allegedly they're going to have to recast some people, which some people may or may not care. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I've heard it's done well. I'm more interested right now about Ghostbusters, because that's the one that I want to see first, or more.
Yeah, I would probably rather see that as well. But I will go to the movie theater and see Dune and report on it for you. Give the old guy
I'm going to sit in my room and watch it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that with both.
I'm just going to do it because I can.
A museum says they gave an artist $84,000 in cash to use you mean the blank canvas
guy? Yeah, I know
to
about
use
this
in
guy.
artwork. He delivered a blank canvas titled them "Take the Money and Run," which, by the way, it's still art.
And now they're trying to get their money back, and he's going, hey, art's subjective. I can do whatever I want. But I can't remember the artist's name. It just did like a drop of paint in a little line.
Yeah.
And it was sold for $1 million. And it was like, okay, well.
A Danish artist was given 84. By the way, why you never do everything up front? You do half now or half later or
half
on
upon
delivery.
Well, because he's an artist, and so it was commissioning a piece of work. That's different.
A Danish artist was given $84,000 by a museum to use in a work of art. When he delivered the piece he's supposed to make, it was not as promised. Instead, the artist Jans Hagen gave the Kungsten Museum of Modern Art and some word I can't pronounce, Denmark, 2 blank canvases, and they said they were entitled "Take the Money and Run." By the way, sounds like a good song.
Yeah, and a great title for that.
Honestly, I mean, if they didn't give him specifications, like that there actually had to be paint on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
his interpretation.
He's entitled to the money.
I agree. That's his interpretation.
So they should have said, yeah, what you need to do is make sure there's lots of paint on it.
Boy, we're going to have a bunch of Danish people calling up and said, that's a Swedish impersonation. As they walk along into their wooden shows. I'm sorry.
Waving to the windmills. Both, let's see, the first exhibit in 2007, both used actual cash to show the average income of two countries, according to the news released from the artist. In addition to the compensation for the work, Hennig was also given banknotes to use in the work. Museum director Lass Anderson, there's a lot of S's in these names, told the CBS News via email their contract even stated the museum would give him an additional €6,000 to update the work if needed. Anderson said at the time the works were initially exhibited, the Danish piece highlighted the average income of 328,000 kroner, approximately $37,800, while the average Austrian salary was 25 to 29. I love the fact he said, okay, here's art. There's nothing there. It just makes me laugh. I'm sorry. It's such an artist thing to do.
I think it's genius, actually. I mean, they didn't really tell him what, they didn't specify. So I think they get what they get.
The only problem is good luck on him selling this next piece of work.
That's true. This was a retirement gig.
This was definitely a retirement gig. He will never sell another piece of art. Anderson
said when they spoke to the artist about making the piece earlier this year, he agreed to the contract and he indicated a fairly easy job.
Well, he did have to frame the canvas. That was the hardest part.
It's a fairly easy job. The staff was surprised when they opened the crates. I was abroad when the crates were opened, but suddenly received a lot of mails. I'm assuming it's emails. When he finally saw Take the Money and Run, Anderson actually laughed, and Jen is known for his conceptual and activistic art with a humoristic touch, and he gave us that. Never mind, if this is what he's known for.
And they got what they got.
Yeah, it's like Banksy who sold one of his artwork, and inside the artwork was a shredder. So as soon as it was purchased, it shredded.
Right. Now that was pretty genius, and everybody thought that was very clever. So, and as the paper goes down or the canvas goes down, it gets shredded a little bit more each time, and they take a bunch of pictures, and it's it keeps going up in value. That's a good one.
So my favorite. Darn it! My favorite,
dead air.
My favorite article. All of a sudden,
I'm going to read you a headline. I'm just the headline, okay? Because I just happen to be, going down the rabbit hole, looking at different things on the internet. And here's a headline: a woman said her jean shorts gave her a wedgie so tight that she ended up in the ICU with life-threatening sepsis. I'm not going to go any further. That's a headline while you're looking for your story. What do you say after that one, right? Oh my.
Sounds painful.
I think she's going to be trying to sue the shorts company. I don't know.
So from BBC.com.
Uh-oh.
And this is the headline: Turkey. Missing man joins search party looking for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A missing man in Turkey accidentally joined his own search party for hours before realizing he was the person they were looking for.
Yeah.
Bayhan Mutal. I wish I could pronounce some of these names.
Why don't you just forget names and just go
because one
unnamed person?
Because one of these days I'm going to get it right.
That's the problem. It's not right away.
It's going to be an hour and a half of me trying to figure out how to pronounce the guy's name. Had been drinking with a friend on Tuesday. He wandered around in the forest of Bruce Province.
That answers the question. He was drinking in the forest.
Bob, when he failed to return, his wife's friends alerted local authorities and the search party was sent out for. Mr. Bob, 50, then stumbled across the search party and decided to join them, NTV reported. But when the member of the search party began calling out his name, he replied, "Hey, Bob's here."
Well, wait a minute. Who is it you're looking for? Guess what? It's me.
This is how he knows he wasn't one of my friends, because we would have, all my friends would have came up with the
said
name.
Anything, kept looking.
I know nothing. I see nothing.
Do I get lunch?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's terrible for him. I mean, the search party, I think, are the dumbasses. Because, I mean, they're looking for this guy. And he's right there with them. Who's going to look over and say, oh, there he is. Hey, we're looking for you.
You think they would have a picture or something, too? Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, he's just out in the woods drunk, having a great time, whatever, It's not his fault.
So, do you think they were calling his name? Bob! Bob's like, wow, that guy has a name that sounds like mine.
Why?
Yeah.
I'm a Bob.
I mean, I just wonder how long he was yelling his own name, thinking, "Ah, that's strange. There's another one out here."
That would have been hilarious. And
it would be really bad if he is out there with calling his own name to only realize hours later, wait a minute, that guy's got the same name I do.
how could he have not have figured it out? Because like everybody,
Well, what was he drinking?
True.
And was all he was doing was drinking.
This is true. He could have been dehydrated and
Delusional.
yeah.
But of course, I'm going to jump in and help a search party because I'm drunk and on drugs.
I'm such a nice guy. I help. Look.
I'm going to help people. Who are you looking for?
So
Well,
knock
he's
it
got
up.
the same name I do.
So knock it up with Knight Rider. Another reboot that has to happen. Apparently, WWE, which you know, by the way, it's going to be a success. Teaming with MGM for American Gladiators reboot. So this will be the third or fourth reboot of American Gladiators.
Yeah. This may sound bad, but I actually enjoyed American Gladiators. I thought it was fun.
too.
Yeah.
Well, the issue I think with American Gladiators is it was good for the day, but unless it's close to American Ninja Warrior, there's not a chance. And I just don't think it's going to happen because none of those shows have really been a hit in the United States. Like after American Gladiators, American Ninja Warrior kind of, but I think it made it more because like the Japanese audience, and I think that kind of dragged people in.
Yeah, maybe, but American Ninja Warrior too. The thing about their thing is that the average person thinks I can do that.
Yes.
I can, and for the most part, they're average people until they become kind of professionals at it. But yeah, so that's what it is now. American Gladiator, I don't know. I mean, most of the
So
time
my
it's
question
B-rated stars and.
Is with American Gladiator. Now, the original one had they weren't necessarily wrestlers, but they were like bodybuilders that
Right.
they used.
Right.
You said they're teaming up with WWE. Are they bringing in professional wrestlers to take on these Joe Blow guys? Are they going to be able to
Probably.
clothesline? That'd be awesome.
That's probably what it is.
That's going to be have to. I mean, I don't know what else it would be.
Because I mean, they were literally like bodybuilders or big buff people they found on Venice Beach that they brought in, or
And most of them are
different
dead
people
now.
like that. So yeah, but I don't remember them ever using wrestlers. Do you remember any professional wrestlers that were on the original American Gladiator?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, by the way, apparently American Gladiators ran, the original run was from 89 to 96. I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, it was all a long time.
And in 08, I knew that with Hulk Hogan and Muhammad Ali's daughter, Layla Ali, was hosting it. And that
was actually poorly done. There was something about it, even being a fan of that kind of.
the issue, honestly, as soon as I heard Hulk Hogan, I'm actually a Hulk Hogan fan, but as soon as I heard that, it's like, this is just not going to work.
Yeah, well, it didn't.
And the other thing is, I think maybe I still think American Gladiators was a piece at a time. I think you're going to have to figure out how to revamp it for a modern audience. And if they stick to the standard formula that was in the early 90s, it's just not going to work.
Well, they need to get some, part of the problem in the other show is that, they launched like tennis balls at people running the course and they were like, poof.
Yeah.
No, they need full auto tennis ball launchers. Let's whack these people right off.
Well, fuck, you see what some of these people take in the TV show Wipeout.
Yeah.
What's a concussion between somebody who signs the waiver?
Yeah, that is what kind of strange one Wipeout is. I don't watch it because it's too. I'm worried somebody's going to break their neck. One of these
You
times.
know, it's just like NASCAR.
I've only seen maybe like outtakes of Wipeout. I've never actually watched an entire episode.
They're episodes?
Well, they're all snippets of wipeouts. Literally that. Oh, get hit with whatever it may be.
I mean, it's why I watch NASCAR. Occasionally, I watch NASCAR is because you're watching for the car crashes, not for the 7.5
they
hour
hardly
race.
crash anymore. They've gone safe. They have nothing really happens. You don't see big flames and cars wiping out near as much as you used to.
Well, fuck. What's the point of watching it?
Well,
I don't.
no kidding,
I don't
huh?
drink. However, hammered, that would be the perfect sport. They're turning left.
Yeah. All you need to know is
that could be something you have there, John. I mean, it could be like every wipeout you do, you have to take a shot of vodka and try it again.
Right.
try it again. Do it again.
Hell, at this point, I'm willing to watch NASCAR stoned just to see if it's entertaining. Because dead sober, it's dull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So VW. Anybody have any stories? I've got a bunch here.
No, you go and I got another one.
Say, VW now owns the Scout name. Might use an electric off-road truck, and gonna piss off everybody who owns a truck, who loves the Scout.
Yeah,
Okay.
I heard about that.
Who cares?
The automotive heavyweight Volkswagen has found itself in an interesting position.
Wait a minute. Volkswagen is German, not some kind of strange Norwegian type. They're German. Volkswagen.
That's why I think
So
it's
you gotta
funny.
say it.
A Volkswagen.
No, wrong.
Volkswagen. All of a sudden, it's like Transylvanian. Automotive heavyweight Volkswagen has found
Can't
itself...
even say it, can he?
No, I'm laughing. An interesting position after some recent horse trading. It has found itself in possession of the name Scout, previously used by International Harvester for its line of rugged 4x4s and off-road vehicles. It led to some insiders speculating that possibly reports of, says Motor Trend. By the way, if they do the same thing as Ford did
With the Bronco?
with the Bronco, there's going
Yeah.
to be a lot of pissed off people, because I've read nothing but complaints about people who are expecting an actual copy of...
Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to back up Ford on this. They never even said it was going to be anything other than a reintroduction of the updated Bronco.
A lot of people I've been reading said they were expecting to have an off-road capable, yada, yada, yada.
It
but
is
it's-
off-road capable.
It's not like that. Let's be honest. It's not like
It's
the
like
old,
saying a Jeep Wrangler is off-road capable until it's lifted, and you
Yeah.
spend another $15,000 to $20,000 making it off-road capable.
So the only there were people bitching, but as far as I heard, they sold out of every single model
did.
that was produced. So it's people who were the purest to the mark. The problem, you'll never have that type of vehicle again.
I had an opportunity not too long ago to look at one, it was on the street, and I hope the owners didn't mind me getting in and out of it a lot, but I didn't really. But it's kind of underwhelming, to be honest with you. I just kind of went, yeah. I mean, it didn't excite me. It didn't bring any kind of magic to I don't know. Good on them for selling out, but I just wonder if people will kind of not accept it. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to say anything.
You know what I honestly think it is? I think people want what my dream car would be. Is they want a truly modular car that's super simple, that you can do what you want. Because modern cars are so complicated. You can't have like the original Bronco was basically a farming implement. That's how simple it was. And I think that's what people want. Because my dream car people would buy the platform. It would have the basic safety equipment, and if you want the higher end stereo, you would swap it in and out.
In today's world, it'll never happen. I understand where you're going with it, but it just isn't going to happen, unfortunately.
Well, it would never sell. I mean, it would sell, but nobody would ever make any money on it. Ford would never make money.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. So much.
If I was to get a dream car, it'd be the Homer Simpson car.
So,
Yeah, the one that he designed that broke his brother's whole car factory.
God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. It's like a bubble car, Yeah. If you look that one up, Rob, you'd get a kick out of it. Or the Canyon Arrow.
Wait. Bubble car? So it's like driving an AMC product? The mobile Terranium?
No, it's got the bubble dome, for the driver.
It's almost like a.
And a separate dome for the kids, so you don't have to listen to them.
Oh, so it's more like
It's more like a Jetson vehicle, really, with wheels. Is what it was
Big
like.
Daddy Roth.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. So I got another story here real quick that I'll bring up because I can't quite. It's a little weird. The headlines, anyway.
Wait, hold on. Before I say that, talk about amazing.
It's time.
Talk about amazing and have some weird times and some just absolute howl to your friends. Hold on and listen to our amazing sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by Audacity. The game word dignity is overrated. Go to ODDASSITY.com. That's ODDASSITY.com. Pick up a card game from this website or selected stores. That's Audacity, the unforgettable party game for mischievous people. And this just in, go to the website, type in MadTrio, all caps, all one word, get 10% off your order. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a gift that our amazing sponsor, Audacity, has given to you.
Yay, Audacity. And a shout out to Melanie.
Miss Audacity herself.
So, reading this headline, I kind of went, It's one of those headlines makes you go, U.S. Air Force Air Force's ultra-secretive, the headline's weird, U.S. Air Force's ultra-secretive X-37B plane has spent 500 days in orbit. Now, first of all, when I read the thing about ultra-secretive, well, if it's so secretive, why am I reading this headline? Right? What kind of secret should that be? So I don't know. Anyway, it is their unmanned, basically it looks like a miniature space shuttle. And it's the X-37B space plane that launched in May 2020 has now surpassed 500 days flying around the Earth. No apparent end in sight. So they're able to keep that thing up for quite a while. And but I just...
Are there people in it?
No. Yeah, those people have been up there for 500 days. No, it's unmanned.
Man, I was going to say landing. Talk about motion sensitive.
Boy, I tell you, 500 days in that thing, in this cramped little capsule.
Yeah.
No, it's nowhere near as large as the space shuttle. It's much smaller. But anyway, apparently it's been going around doing research stuff for the military and, secret stuff. But I just don't understand how something secretive isn't so secretive.
By the way, I think whoever wrote that headline should have figured out how to say it so people could actually read it.
Yeah, I was not the best, but anyway, just caught my...
Did they say what the speed was? Like, how fast was the damn thing actually going?
2 miles per hour.
Well, it's going to stay in orbit, so however fast it needs to stay in orbit.
But did they refill it, or was it?
No, apparently not. Although it gets some updates. Apparently, they're sending rockets to rendezvous with it for certain stuff. Again, it's supposed to be a secret. I'm not supposed to tell you all this stuff. I might get in trouble. I don't know. But it has the ability to land back on Earth just like the space shuttle did. Doesn't have to splash into the ocean.
Whew. Good thing I didn't say that joke about exploding.
Powered by solar cells with lithium-ion batteries. Oh.
That's what I was going to say. It's got to be solar powered in some sense. I mean, I don't think you'll be able to get up there on just solar power, though.
No, it was launched on a Atlas V rocket. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was launched in a conventional manner, and then it's floating around. Basically, it's a satellite with wings that can land back on Earth. Which maybe they ought to consider doing with all the satellites up there now I think about it. Then we can get them all out of there and stop all this junk in space. Typical humans. Not only do we junk up the Earth, we junk up space, too.
So you know what's going to happen? I think because Elon Musk is a bit of an otaku, I have a feeling what's going to happen is he's also going to launch a cleanup service. So it's going to be like a trash service in space, and they're going to start cleaning up all the...
They're working on that. Did you know that?
I'm not surprised.
The problem is they can't figure out how to stop something going 20,000 miles an hour from... How do you stop it to put it in a bag?
Or it's,
ziplock it and bring it to Earth.
It's like, what they say when you get hung. It's not the drop it's not being hung that kills you. It's the sudden stop at the end. It's not the drop, but the sudden stop at the end. That's going to, it's like that. Stopping it.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I killed that. So famous.
Yes, you did.
famous Disney star of Old Yeller and
the dog?
Yeah, he died a while ago.
A long time ago. Way before Beethoven, actually.
What do you mean? Wait a minute. Beethoven died before he was born.
The dog?
Oh, the dog. Okay.
Tommy
You
Kirk.
weren't clear.
Well, James knew what I was talking about. We were talking about a dog. Keep up, old guy. Jeez. You'd think you would be hip on something that's 30 years old.
I understood entirely. I just kind of didn't.
Is it only 30 years old?
Well, yeah, probably. Tommy Kirk, Disney star of Old Yeller. He was also on Swiss Family Robinson, and a handful of other Disney stuff was found. Passed away. He was preceded a long time by his co-star Dano. I don't remember his actual name, but the guy who was on Hawaii Five-O.
Right. What was his name?
Old Yeller was 1957. John.
Yes. He was 79 years old. I was actually really bummed to hear this. The Shaggy Dog, Swiss Family Robinson, The Misadventures of Merlin Jones. I've never actually seen Merlin Jones. I'll have to look it up. Born in 1941. I was kind of bummed to see it because he was always somebody I was a giant fan of. Oh, he was also on Babes in Toyland. So just a shout out because I'm kind of bummed. He was literally growing up. He was a Disney staple for my sister and I.
Yeah. Well, sorry to hear that. Hey, And you both have young kids, so I'm going to bring this up because this is going to be a public safety announcement here. The headline reads: "The power windows roll up and kill girl playing in parked car in Arizona." And a young girl died Saturday evening with the power windows of the parked car she was playing and activated and closed on her. I thought all power windows were supposed to have something that when it met resistance rolled back down.
Were the keys in it?
Well, it was enough
not all power windows. The ones in my car don't really. I mean,
my car.
Mine's like 2004. So
I don't think I'll have to try my car, but
we'll have to check on that. So whatever you guys do, make sure you're careful with something like that. This is horrible.
We'll have to do the hot dog test.
How old was she? You said
how old was she? Let's see if it says. Just says young girl.
Well, so it had to be so if they just said young girl, it's so probably anywhere between playing. So I'd probably be between 4 and 12.
Yeah, that was my assumption. I'm sitting there going, wow, I really thought there was a special feature required on these powered windows. I mean, back in my day, I understood it. I mean, you stick your hand there, roll up the window, chop, there goes it, whatever.
Back in your day, your airbag was your dad's hand.
That too.
That is if your dad loved you.
Yeah.
Well, shit. So I'm assuming the power is on because I know.
Yeah. Somehow, obviously, the power. My windows won't move without power.
But they will for a little bit. I think mine will do it a little bit after the fact. So
they do. But she was apparently playing in the car. People had seen her playing with it, and
so my first question is: I would never let my child play in a car that I wasn't in where the keys are in it, or the ignition was on, or
That's the thing. It's like power windows. I know don't really. Most vehicles, once
remote
like
start.
a door is opened, the power windows no longer work.
You know what I think, and this is a guess. I bet it's remote start. So this is just a complete guess. I bet the girl was in there, the parents turned the remote start on so she could have some air conditioning or something, and I bet that's what happened, because it's the only way I could see it happening.
Yeah, it's just tragic.
Damn.
She must have been really young, because all I'm finding is young girl.
Well,
who was not identified, later died of her injuries.
Yeah.
So she didn't die in the car. She died from the injuries suffered, which had probably like crushed her windpipe or something.
Yeah, it had to be absolutely tragic. So I just, oh boy. So, I don't think it's prevalent as much today as it used to be, but I remember as a young kid playing in my dad's car a lot because it was fun to pretend you were driving, but those were crank windows. I mean, if I cranked the window up and killed myself at the same time, I deserve to be dead.
By the way, that's a hell of a feat. That's
back it up. No, I don't know which way to go. Back it up.
Matter of fact, I wonder if that actually happened, because now it's like, that's a hell of a thought. Just say, man killed himself. What happened? He rolled his own window up on him.
Well, yeah, as long as it's not a powered window. Right?
Well, no, but back in the 50s, everybody would be like, well, fucker deserved it.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
I know that I was watching one of the car shows on television. There was a youngerish person, probably early teens, was riding this guy's old car. He didn't know what the crank handle was for the window. He really didn't understand that. What? You have to do what?
That, more than 65 children have been killed in the past 20 years from something like this.
Holy shit, seriously?
And an untold number have suffered amputations or brain injuries. So this isn't uncommon.
If they can figure out how to stop a saw blade and a table saw from not cutting a hot dog, how come they cannot figure out?
Well, see, I know for a fact, because I remember closing on my current car, I think it was a book. I was not paying attention. So anyway, once the window hit it and had a certain amount of resistance, it rolled right back down right away. So maybe that's modern, or
So I'm going to have to put it to test. Old guy, stick your head in there and roll up the window.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, but you wouldn't back it up.
These have to be like older vehicles that are still in use. Mine's a 2004, and I know the windows, they don't just drop back down after some pressure. I mean, take some, but yeah, it's like
Yeah, you would think it would be.
Immediately once it reaches resistance.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so for the parents out there of young kids, don't let your kids play in the car.
So in movie news, two names I never thought I'd see in the same sentence. Jason David Frank and Michael Madison are going to be in the same movie together.
Why?
So Jason David Frank, known as being Tommy from Power Rangers fame, is being in his own movie by Bat and the Sun. It's called The White Dragon. He was So basically, it's a new reboot, a little bit of a grittier reboot of Power Rangers. So Jason David Frank is with. The problem is Michael Madison is a hell of an actor.
Yeah, I know, but really,
So this is supposed to be a little grittier. It's still Power Rangers.
I don't care how gritty you make the story. I mean, it's Power Rangers, man.
I'm curious to see how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Jason David Frank is like the Ron Perlman of the comic book convention world. He never says no.
True.
Jason David Frank was because I follow him on Facebook at one point. Posted his CCW license with his address covered up, and I remember actually messaging him. It's like, hey, just a word of advice. I recommend removing that. Yes, everybody now knows you have a CCW. Still don't recommend showing that. And at one point, I think he had a gun and he was commenting about missing one. It's like, see. So I actually like Jason David Frank.
Just to be clear, this is Legend.
That's
of
it.
The White Dragon.
Legend of the White Dragon. So basically, the premise.
That makes a big difference.
I'm going to get confused with things that are white. There is a movie called White Dragon, and there's a television show called White Dragon. There's a movie called The White Dragon. So just to say out there that this is the Legend of the White Dragon. So.
Check out the trailer. You may or may not like it. It looks interesting, but I also say that about boxes and grass.
So this is like an offshoot of Power Rangers. Is that what this is?
Yeah. So pretty much from everything I can read of it, the synopsis of it is, I guess, Jason David Frank's new character is like a retread. Something happens. He's a former Power Ranger, and shenanigans happen.
Oh, how much worse can it be than a former Power Ranger?
Go Power Rangers.
Whoa. So they age out as well, too, huh?
Apparently,
kind of like our special forces.
Jesus.
What a shame.
Okay, so
apparently it is Bat and the Sun apparently has approval from Saban, who actually owns Power Rangers now again. So, but that's pretty big though, because somebody gets approval from the company that owns the rights to a company giving permission. You got to admit that's.
So hold on, this is what it says on IMDb.
Money, you pay anybody enough money.
Many members of the Power Ranger cast, and is in the spirit of a more mature Power Rangers movie, but is not officially Power Rangers.
Oh, really? Because I thought I read they got approval for it. I guess I was wrong.
That's
this
funny.
is what I'm saying in the trivia section, and I'm just looking at it and it's like, okay, wait a minute. So this is the synopsis. In the aftermath, the city was left decimated, a past reminder of the great battle and fall of heroes. The heroes were blamed, stripped of their titles, and hunted. So that's the premise of the film.
I would say that's grittier.
Having the comeuppance of sitting there destroying skyscraper after skyscraper filled with hundreds of thousands of people. Is that what's going on?
Apparently.
I mean, their Zords took out how many skyscrapers and little buildings and
look at James.
Yeah,
he even knows the name of those giant robots. So cute.
Oh, James is geeking out on Power Rangers.
What the hell a Zord is? It's mecha anime. There you go.
Wait, isn't it live action?
Well, I'm saying they're ripping off mecha anime is what.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I assume this is a live action movie. All right, so I'm talking about movies and movies.
Are we going to talk about, are they really actually going to have the actors doing the fight scenes, or are they going to use, found footage from Japan?
I'm assuming if Jason David Frank's involved, they're going to be doing it because he's a legitimate martial artist and MMA fighter. So I'm assuming.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that in all the Power Rangers, they never actually used fight sequences that were filmed in the United States. They were all taken from Japan and used in the shows.
I'm assuming it's going to be real because it's probably cheaper than finding footage.
James knows entirely too much about this whole subject.
Well, you want to know the additional thing is they only did that for the first couple of seasons.
Oh Lord, you guys talking about a cartoon here. Well, all right, since we're on,
Careful, John. Rob might walk out again.
yeah, I might be careful. So in the fact that we're in California, where there have been a number of fires kind of near us here.
Oh, there we go.
In the spirit of all this, Shannon Doherty.
Sorry, I got lost you guys for a while. Okay, Shannon Doherty.
Shannon Doherty.
I'm on that.
Okay.
Are you guys there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear us? Can you hear us now? Oh, here we go again.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Technical problems.
If it wasn't for problems, I'd have no problem.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I'm trying to go with remote hosts. Maybe we can just make them a guest and hang up on them.
And it's the only problem with the technology. You think once it works, no, everything always seems to break.
I want to blame it on Facebook. It's a Facebook problem.
I used to be able to talk. Facebook, damn you.
Facebook crashed and now we can't even move our lips anymore.
Facebook forced that beer into my hands. It's all your fault, Facebook.
Well, if you get them back, I'm going to finish with the story here. So we don't have a lot of dead air. I'm going to talk about it. So the Beverly Hills 90210 alum, who is now 50 years old, was awarded $6,346,000 in damages for her Malibu home that was damaged to the Woolsey fire in 2018.
Was that with the HL?
And well, so she...
Hey, James, are you there?
Woolsey fire.
Yeah.
So, welcome back. So I'm doing the backstory of Shannon Doherty's house in Malibu that burnt down, and she had a insurance company that I'm not going to name because I don't want to be sued by them, but anyway, that just came to mind. I have no idea why.
I know, a cup of Folgers sounds great, doesn't it?
So this insurance company refused to pay off on the damages, and her house burned up in this fire, and she sued and won.
Did she get the full amount, or did she get damages for stress?
She also got damages for stress and inconvenience and all the other stuff. And if they had just paid off in the beginning, it probably would have cost them a lot less money.
I kind of wonder if the facts, I think, and I could be wrong, I think she's fighting stage 4 cancer too. So this cannot have been easier.
No, I'm sure it was bad, although there is mixed reports on the cancer fight, only in the fact that she said she was in remission in 2017. So we don't know if it came back. Quite possibly could have. And but whatever. It's kind of like, I get a little upset with insurance companies that can't wait to take our money. And, heaven forbid you missed a payment and they go crazy. But by golly, when they want to pay out, it's like run for the hills.
So having a guy who lives in the middle of fire country.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're a radio station out there and you're looking for a really good name and you use Fire Country, I want some money. I came up with that. That's right. I want a kickback for that.
Fire Country.
Fire Country 106.5.
I bet it was done before.
Shh. The weirdest
part. Go and trademark it.
Only if I had the money. The weirdest part is now the insurance companies, that happened the last couple of times, like people come out and take photos, and then you get the last time, not the most recent time, the last time the guy came out, I got this dirty message.
Clean this up, clean that up, cut that down. We got the same thing.
I actually talked to the brokerage I go through was actually really nice. I was dropped coverage, and then they said, hey, we were dropped coverage. We found somebody for you. So that was nice. And the most recent time was hilarious because a guy lived next to me and he said, I'm going to come and take photos. It's like, oh, I better go back. Let me know when you come so I can lock my dog up. It's like, yeah, it's like, I got a big lovable dog. You're either going to be licked to death or bit. So that's, It's like, really?
It's a 50-50.
Yeah, it depends if you smell like meat. It's just weird because they send you these like Dear John letters of, if you don't do this, Dear John, you no longer have. It's like, fuck.
But that's your name.
Yes. It works perfectly. It's it's like, Dear John,
Dear
you no longer
John.
have insurance.
That's right. You are hereby canceled as a further notice.
Canceled.
Canceled.
Great. My insurance got canceled and we're about to get canceled.
Yeah.
The Wokovics are
Wow.
acting again.
The actual insurance company is actually saying that they're going to they're going to appeal the verdict.
Yeah, of course.
So what
Chris,
was...
let's just dig themselves more expenses instead of just saying, all right, we lost. We had to pay our attorneys $1 million to fight this. So let's just spend more money because it's the principle of the thing.
It's a couple of things, but did they say why the insurance was denied? Because here's the thing.
Yeah, not in the article that I read.
Well, here's the thing. In the state of California now, apparently I heard rumors or it actually happened. I don't remember which. So mileage may vary. I guess California is making it impossible for insurance companies to drop people because in a good portion of California, it is impossible to get insurance.
Yeah, they
at
put
all.
after the Paradise Fire, they put a moratorium in the ability for fire insurance companies to cancel.
So this is probably more maneuver of giving them more leeway to refuse payouts because you can have, it's the only thing I could think of because let's be honest, California's fire country, no matter where you live.
Yeah. So what happened in Paradise during that fire is that there were a few real small little insurance companies that went belly up. Mm-hmm. And now what are you going to do? I mean, there's the problem. So
doesn't California have to pay that though?
I'm not an attorney, so I don't have that answer, but they are licensed by the state of California to be an insurance company. So you would think that they would have enough assets to cover their payouts, whatever that may be. So I don't know.
I thought it would be like the FDIC, that if...
I don't know, maybe. I'm not an insurance expert.
By the way, that's the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation.
We need to get an insurance guy on to talk about that.
I knew one. He was an angry little man.
Yeah, every insurance person I've ever known couldn't wait to get out of insurance. Kind of like used car salesman, which I was for a short period of time. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I got to drive all kinds of different cars. That's all I cared about.
I was going to make some jokes. I'm like, wait, no, I should not. I want my inheritance.
Forget it, it's already gone.
Fuck.
I'm going out and spending it now. Not going to leave you a dime. I'm taking it all with me.
Well, fuck.
So, a couple episodes ago, I started talking about car makers that branch out from the automotive industry into other things. And it's still kind of interesting when you read some of them. So Ford Motor Company, also a branch of Ford Motor Company is called Ford Aerospace. They had the very first United States Navy contract to make Sidewinder missiles.
By the way, for all my friends who are Chevy fans, right now is the time to insert Found on Road Dead.
No.
Well, because in Sidewinder missiles, didn't they use them in Vietnam?
Oh, there's been versions of Sidewinder missiles since the early 1950s.
Yeah, because those were the radar ones that right? Because in Vietnam, when they tried to use their missiles, you fired a couple of ones, and you had a 1 out of 3 chance of it actually getting to connecting to the target. Because
Yeah.
I've heard a number of pilots.
They're heat seekers,
Yeah.
so they're going off to heat signatures. However, because of the wet, the hot, and everything going on there, they had some issues with them until they figured that part out, why they were failing.
That and the radar missiles. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was kind of interesting.
Has there been any company like that's actually done clothing? Like Harley Davidson is more like a clothing company that also sells motorcycles. That's also going out of business.
I thought I had one there. I do worry about Harley. I don't know what's going to happen.
Or has there been reverse? Has there been like Victoria's Secrets that now makes a Vespa?
Twin powered.
I do twin V power. I do know there's a Levi edition like AMC Gremlin, thanks to an AMC vehicle, thanks to Jeff Dunham on Jay Leno.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one. GM's got all kinds of stuff. They make trains. GM's big time into other stuff. So
They have to
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
just about.
they have to because this car thing, it's just not going to
Not
last. It's a
working out
fad.
for them. Yeah. I don't know. Planes? No, but Honda makes a plane. Did you know that? Honda makes a jet called the Honda Jet.
I'm not actually surprised. That kind of seems to fit Honda.
Yeah. Good on Honda.
Does it have a cheesy commercial?
No, I didn't know that. It's
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
It is. It's always interesting. So, yeah, you can trust Honda. Don't we all trust Honda?
Not after my Acura.
Oh, darn.
No, it'll be
Should have had a Hyundai.
it'll be amazing car, but the transmission's going to drop every.
Get it made from the Koreans instead.
You know, I've heard amazing things about Hyundai.
Hyundai.
However you say it. I've heard amazing things about the
Hyundai.
brand. I know a lot of people that think they're shitty cars, but I've heard nothing but amazing things.
You
About
know, Consumer Reports seems to do okay with them. I mean, when you start looking at, anyway, I don't want to get into car stuff. But I brought it up. What am I talking about?
It's all your fault. Well,
But they make tools and machines for assembly lines, artillery, aircraft parts, and robots. Well, who knew?
Well, we talk about our future robot overlords. Stay tuned for this. Do you want to keep up to date on the maddest of the mad at the MadTrio podcast? Check out our social media feeds on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or go to themadtrio.com. So we are just about up for this episode of the MadTrio podcast. Anybody have any final words and or stories to talk about as we round up another great week?
I think the only thing we got to do is fix this technology for remote hosts.
Unless we somehow fix the remote host, make them yell louder, I don't know how we fix that.
You got to get those strings a little tighter.
Oh, the one thing I think is amazing, if you can say about the fact that California is actually running out of water, it's all Los Angeles' fault, is they're finding all sorts of stuff that apparently everybody forgot about, from forgotten bridges and towns to mine shafts. There was in Michigan, they found an underwater, they found like a boat that had sunk 140 years earlier. There's all sorts of stuff they're finding. I know in England last year, the year before that, they actually found remnants of past houses by how grass was wilting. So it's been an interesting couple of years as things have gone.
They keep discovering stuff. How about that?
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Especially the
I guess we
British.
should have more drought. Is that what you're trying to say, John?
What was that?
I said, are you trying to say that we should have more drought?
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
Matter of fact, I think if you bet like 5 years ago there's going to be a drought in California, I think nobody would have taken your bet.
Yeah, I don't know. Good news is long-term forecasts say we're actually going to have a wetter and colder winter, and that was not from the Farmer's Almanac.
I don't believe you. I don't believe it.
Won't believe until you see it. I'm with you on that.
Well, because the only people surprised by the weather are the people for telling it.
Well,
And
this was NOAA, I think.
like I said, the people for telling it.
Only job I know of where you can be wrong 99.9% of the time and still have a job.
No, that's an average.
That's an average.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for the Mad Trio podcast, as always, thank you for listening.
Bye.
Goodbye.